Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's been 2 weeks since I've done any recordings, but I am back. I had my reasons. So apparently, the last two scripts were a no go. I got a heavily worded email saying so. So I think I'm going to change it to a movie that I think I know you guys would love, and we're gonna do Ratatouille. Alrighty, you guys are ready? Well, this is gonna need I'm gonna need an accent for this. A television set tuned to a documentary as an old-fashioned world globe rotate in a sea of clouds. The Eiffel Tower slowly comes into view over the horizon, dwarfing France underneath. TV narrator. Although each of the world's countries would like to dispute this fact, we French know that the best food in the world, is made in France. The best food in France is made in Paris. And the best food in Paris, some say, is made by Chef Augustus Gusteau. We see images of Gusteau cooking sign. We see images of Gusteau cooking, signing his cookbook in front of his famous restaurant. Gusteau is in his early 40s, but his massive girth makes him look older. But I don't know. This is like some narrator. Okay, this is an action, not a character saying it. Now this is a TV narrator saying this. Gusteau's restaurant is the Toast of Paris, booked 5 months in advance in his dazzling ascent to the top of the fine French cuisine, has made his competitors envious. He is the youngest chef ever to achieve a 5-star rating. Chef Gusteau cookbook, Anyone Can Cook, has climbed to the top of the bestseller list, but not everyone celebrated his success. A tall, gaunt, severe-looking man with fish-belly white skin appears on TV screen. Super Anton Ego Food Critic. Beneath that, in italics, is his moniker, The Grim Eater Ego. Amusing title. Anyone can cook. What's even more amusing is that Gusteau actually seems to believe it. I, on the other hand, take cooking seriously, and no, I don't think anyone can do it. Title. Over black. The sound of the wind rattling barren branches. Walt Disney Pictures presents a Pixar film, and we fade in to reveal French countryside late afternoon. A light and rain fellas on a small farmhouse. The last remaining dead leaves tremble in the gusts. The quiet is shattered by a loud gunshot that lights up the inside of the cottage. Camera pushes down and in towards a single window. Ratatouille. Hold on. Give me a sec. Alrighty. I'm back. Where was I at? Ratatouille. As we move closer, we begin to hear muffled sounds of struggle. Furniture being bumped, dishes breaking, an industrial crash, followed by an old lady's shriek. Ah! We're close to the window now when it's suddenly shattered by a cookbook. Instantly, the action freeze. Underneath its spade pages, shielding himself from the shards of splintering glass, is impeccably a rat. Remy. His scrawny, frightened, almost comic. It's hard not to feel sympathetic towards the little guy. Remy. This is me. I think it's apparently I need to rethink my life a little bit. What's my problem? First of all, outside the farmhouse dusks weeks earlier, A silhouette darts out of the from behind a wooden barrel, pausing upright against the blood red sky, mangy, sinister, the opposite of Remy. This is how most humans see rats. Remy, I'm a rat, which means life is hard. Assured the coast is clear, the sinister rat scampers out into the yard, followed by dozens more rats. The rats move across the expanse of grass toward a composite heap, which sits in the middle of the field under the darkening sky. Resourceful and well coordinated, the rats grab bits of decomposing food and carry it off. Remy is among them, drearily going through the garbage. Remy. And secondly, I have a highly developed sense of taste and smell. Suddenly he catches a scent, which leads him to uncover a nearly untouched piece of pastry, a discarded Napoleon. Remy sniffing Napoleon. Flour, eggs, sugar, vanilla bean, small twist of lemon. The Napoleon suddenly erupts, and now pops Remy's pudgy brother, Emile, covered in cream and completely oblivious to the destruction he's wrought. Emile, you can smell all that. You can smell all that? Wow, you have a gift. Again, and the action freezes. Remy, this is Emile, my brother. He's easily impressed. Resume action. An older rat, Django, comes into view. He snorts dismissively, plucks an apple core from the compost. Django, so you can smell ingredients, so what? Remy, this is my dad. He's never impressed. He also happens to be the leader of our clan. Remy catches another scent and frowns. This new scent is different somehow. Wrong. He follows the scent to Django. Remy, so what's wrong with having highly developed sense? Django is about to eat the apple core when Remy lunges at him and snatches the core from his hands. Remy, whoa, don't eat that! Shed minutes later, still holding an apple core, Remy sniffs the air following the scent to a trap in the corner. He lifts it, revealing a can of rat poison. The other rats react. Django's impressed. Remy, turns out that funny smell was rat poison. Suddenly, Dad didn't think my talent was so useless. I was feeling pretty good about my gift until Dad gave me a job. Farmhouse composite pile day. A line of rats file past Remy, holding up rotted scraps of food so that each one passes under his nose. Remy, that's right, poison check. That's right, poison checker. As Remy sniffs with all the gusto of a lifelong DMV employee. The line shuffles forward with each clean. Remy snips before each one. Clean, Arino, cleanerific, close to godliness. The rat under inspection stands there, unsure as to whether or not he's been approved. Remy, which means clean. You know, cleanliness is close to... Wait, hold on. Let me repeat that part. Which means clean. You know, cleanliness is close to... No response. Remy waits, expecting the rat to get his joke. Beat. Remy, never mind, move on. The rat moves on. Remy resumes his board inspection. Inside attic, late afternoon. Django and Remy stand on a beat-up chair overlooking the rat clan as they go about their day. Remy, well, it made my dad proud. Django, Now don't you feel better, Remy? You've helped a noble cause. Noble? We're thieves, Dad. And what were we stealing? And we're stealing is, let's face it, garbage. Hold on. Alrighty. I'm back. Alright. Okay. You don't feel better, Remy? You've helped a noble cause. Noble? We're thieves, Dad. And what we're stealing is, let's face it, garbage. It isn't stealing if no one wants it. If no one wants it, why are we stealing it? They continue to quarrel. It's clear that this is an old argument, Remy. Let's just say we have different point of view. Attic night. Django and Emil are gobbling up an assortment of rubbish, which is in fact dinner. Remy watches them, appalled. He looks down at his own plate in disgust. Remy, this much I knew. If you are what you eat, then I only want to eat the good stuff. He pushes the rotted food away. Django reacts. Remy, but to my dad... Django, food is fuel. You get picky about what you put in the tank, your engine's gonna die. Now shut up and eat your garbage. Remy, if we're going to be thieves, why not steal the good stuff in the kitchen, where nothing is poisoned? Django, first of all, we're not thieves. Secondly, stay out of the kitchen and away from humans. It's dangerous. Outside the farmhouse, dusk. Remy watches the farmhouse, drawn to the warm light, to the sounds of a meeting from inside. Remy, I know I'm supposed to hate humans, but there's something about them. Farmhouse kitchen. Remy carefully sneaks into the kitchen. Remy, they don't just survive, they discover, they create. Just look at what they do with food. The TV is turned to the same show we saw in the opening. Chef Gusto in his restaurant speaking to the camera. Remy watches. Gusto, good food is like music you can taste, color you can smell. There is excellence all around you. You need only You need only be aware to stop and savor it. Remy notches the leftover plate of fruits and cheese. He picks up a small slice of cheese and takes a bite. Remy, Gusto was right. Each flavor was totally unique. As Remy closes his eyes, his surroundings fade to black. A amorphous colored shape appears above his head, accompanied by cello bass line. Remy, oh yeah, amazing, but combine one flavor with another. Cheese still in his mouth, Remy takes a bite of the strawberry. Like that is me when I have Taco Bell. I bite the freaking Locos, the Doritos Locos tacos, the cheese one and the Cool Ranch one together, and then I react like that. No, they didn't. They do not, unfortunately. Yes, I believe it did. Discontinued. Maybe. I mean, I'm pretty sure that shit was not healthy at all. I'm pretty sure anything in Taco Bell is not healthy at all. Alrighty. And something new was created. New colored shapes and musical signatures appears, swirling and dancing in harmony with the others. A light snaps on, breaking the spell. The old lady has awakened. Remy drops the food and scampers away. Field day. Remy follows a pleasant scent in the air. It leads him to a beautiful mushroom. Remy, so now I have a secret life. The only one who knows about it was Emil. Behind the farmhouse late afternoon, Emil is a top of full garbage can rooting around under the lid. Remy calls up from the tall grass below. Remy, Emil! Psst! Hey! Emil! Emil looks up holding the remains of a brown bag lunch. Remy, giddy. Look! I found a mushroom! Come on! You're good at hiding food. Help me find a good place to put this. Because if you late afternoon, like he gets like his secret, like DoorDash drivers have the bag, just like Emil has that. Remy and Emil walks together. Emil on all fours dragging the enormous bag he grips between his teeth, while Remy walks upright, carefully cradling his mushroom. Remy, he doesn't understand me, but I can be myself, around him. Emil, why are you walking like that? Remy, I don't want to constantly have to wash my paws. Do you ever think about how we walk on the same paws that we handle food with? Do you ever think about that? What about what we put under our mouths? All the time. He shudders. When I eat, I don't want to taste everywhere my paws have been. Emil, well, okay, but if Dad sees you walking like that, he's not gonna like it. Remy sniffs Emil's bag. His eyes light up. Remy, what have you got there? He disappears into the bag, rifles through it, emerging with Remy. Cheese! You found cheese? And not just any cheese. Tommy de Chevrolet! The pays! That would go beautifully with my mushroom. And he sniffs the air, quickly finds a plant nearby. He plucks it from the ground, his excitement growing by the second. Remy, this rosemary with maybe. He grabs a paw full of grabs from the ground, tasting the milky base. Smiling, he squeezes a few drops on the mushroom. Remy counted a few drops from this sweet grass. Emil, well, throw it onto the pile, I guess, and Remy, we don't want to throw this into the garbage. This is special. Emil, but we gotta return to the colony before sundown or Dad's gonna... Emil! There are possibilities unexplored here. We've gotta cook this. Now, exactly how do we cook this? Is this the real question? Remy stops, his gaze locking into the smoking chimney on top of the farmhouse roof. He grins. Remy, oh yeah, come on. Rooftop later. Remy has a skewered mushroom and cheese onto part of the TV antenna, which he has bent over the smoking chimney on top, hand turning it like a rotisserie. Remy, the key is to keep turning it, get the smoky flavor nice and even. Lightning flickers in the far distance, following a moment later by a rumble of thunder. Emil watches concerned. The storm's getting closer. Hey, you think that maybe we shouldn't... Crack! A bolt of lightning hits the antenna, knocking both rats off the rooftop. They make a long fall, landing with a thud into the soft dirt, and then they died. The end. Alright. Miraculously, Remy and Emil are still alive, actually. Their smoking fur sticks out in the electrified frazzle. Remy holds the rod up, keeping the cheese mushroom, now transformed by lightning into an amazing puffed out shape, completely clean. Remy, moaning, oh, oddly bites into a mushroom. Oh, you gotta taste this! It's got this kind of... Smacks lips. Burning, melty... It's not really a smoky flavor. It's kind of like a more. Let's see. Oh, shoot. Come on, rooftop later. Okay, there you go. Or Remy count makes a sound effect. It's got a kind of taste, don't you think? What would you call that flavor? Emil, lightningy? Remy, yeah, lightningy! We gotta do that again! Okay, when the next storm comes, we'll go up to the roof. Remy's eyes suddenly go blank with a preemptive thought. Remy, I know what this needs. Saffron! A little saffron would make this! Saffron? Why do I get the feeling it's in the kitchen? Farmhouse kitchen. Minutes later. Emil frets, looking nervously at the old lady, still fast asleep in front of the TV. Remy rummages through her spices. Remy. Saffron. Emil. Not good. Don't like it. She's gonna wake up. Remy. I've been down here a million times. She turns on the cooking channel. Boom. Never wakes up. Emil. You've been here a million times? Remy resumes rooting. I'm telling you, saffron will be the thing. Gusto swears by it. Emil, okay, who's Gustavo? Remy pushes aside from cookbooks, revealing a well-worn copy of Auguste Gusto Anyone Can Cook on the shelf. Emil, what, you read? Remy, guiltily, well, not excessively. Emil, oh man, does Dad know? Remy, you could fill a book, a lot of books, with things Dad doesn't know, and they have, which is why I read. Pointed, which is also our secret. He resumes rummaging through the spices. Emil frets. I don't like secrets. All this cooking and reading and TV watching while we read and cook. It's like you're involving me in your crimes. And I'd let you. Why do I let you? Farmhouse attic. Same moment. Rats stream in from a crack in the wall, throwing food from the compost pile onto the heap. Django is at the center, overseeing things. He turns away distracted. Django. What's taking those kids so long? Resume kitchen. Remy and Emil. Remy locates a tiny vial of saffron. Holds it up. Remy. Aquila saffron Italian. Gusto says it's excellent. It's excellent. Good thing the old lady is a food love. You know, speaking of Ratatouille, you think Remy would love the chimichangas that Charlie's eating? Yeah, the Jose leche, the just bean and cheese burritos. All right, I'm just gonna keep reading. Almost done. Something on the TV attracts Remy's attention. The great chef Gusteau is being interviewed. Remy. Hey, that's Gusteau! Emil, look! Gusteau TV. Great cooking is not for the faint of heart. You must be imaginative, strong-hearted. You must try things that may not work, and you must not let anyone define your limits. Because of where you come from, your only limit is your soul. What I say is true. Anyone can cook, but only the fearless can be great. Remy grins, nodding in agreement. Remy, pure poetry. TV narrator, but it was not to last. Gusto's restaurant lost one of its 5 stars after a scratch interview by France's top food critic are not ego. Remy drifts closer to the TV, drawn to the shocking news. TV narrator. It was a severe blow to Gusteau, and the great chef died shortly afterwards, which, according to the tradition, meant the loss of another star. Remy, stunned. Gusteau is dead? Suddenly the TV snaps off. Remy and Emile spin around to see the old lady is awake and wield a shotgun. Remy, run! Remy and Emile scatter. Emile panics, races towards the attic. Remy, no, you'll lead her to the colony! The lady blasts a huge hole into the ceiling just behind the scrambled Emile. He leaps clear, and the lad's on the end of the hanging light fixture. The old lady has him. She levels the gun barrel at the helplessly dangling Emile. Remy hides his eyes. Emile braces for the end. Click! The shotgun is empty. The old lady reacts. What? Emile reacts. Huh? I'm not dead. Remy looks up. Is Emile still alive? The old lady curses, ejecting the shells. Emile sees his opportunity and starts scrambling to pull himself onto the light. The old lady sees this and rushes for more shells. Remy sees an opening and takes off to help Emile. Refilling through the desk drawers, the old lady spies Remy coming out of the hiding to help Emile. She redoubles her effort to find a box of shells. Emile struggles his fat body up to the precarious light fixture. Emile, help! Remy, help! Remy, Emile, start swinging the light! I'll try to grab you! Old lady hears Remy calling for Emile, but from her POV, all we hear is a squeaking sound. Old lady finds a shell box, empty, then yanks open another desk drawer. Remy arrives at the light fixture, reaches out for Emile. Remy, Emile, swing to me! Old lady, nothing in the drawer. She decides to look in the bookshelf, looking back to see if the two rats are still together and struggling, still sitting ducks. Finding no shells in the desk, the lady goes for the cabinet, looking back to the two sitting duck rats. The lady finds a fresh box of shells, spilling them in her excitement. Remy strains to lift Emile. The lady drops to her knees, picks up a shell, loading it as Emile's feet get purchased the lady's chamber, her shell, and swings to the shotgun around, and the rats scramble up into the new blast hole at the base of the hanging fixture. It explodes in a buckshot. Silence, then a loud crack. The lady looks up. The large fissure snakes across the ceiling, connecting the wide circle of the shotgun holes. A massive chunk of ceiling breaks free and comes crashing down, bringing with it the floor of the attic above, its furniture, and hundreds of surprised rats. The old lady freaks. She runs from the room. Django, evacuate everyone to the boats! Rats grab assorted belongings as they make their escape. Remy and Emile run with the terrified mob. Suddenly, Remy stops, looks back to Gusteau's cookbook. The book! And turns back, rushing into the flood of fleeing rats. Outside the farmhouse, rats are diving out the window, streaming through the cracks, racing across the grass to the bank's nearby stream. By the stream, the rats run into the tall grass, pulling aside camouflage, revealing several watercraft built from junk. The rats push them into the water and climb aboard. Django urges them on. Django, go, move! Inside the farmhouse kitchen, Remy, the last remaining rat, struggles with the Gusteau's cookbook, and strange breathing sound causes him to look up. The lady is back, now spotting a World War II gas mask and a gas canister. She starts after Remy, spraying the gas everywhere. With a burst of adrenaline, Remy hoists the book onto his back and makes a running leap through the window outside the farmhouse, and lands on the lawn in the shower of glass. It appears the cookbook itself is struggling to catch up to the fleeing rat. Wait! Wait for me! On the river. Alright. And then that is it for recording. Alright, well, until next time, this was a really fun read. I can't wait to do part 2. Bye-bye.